Oh yeah. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's a gorgeous Saturday afternoon. I'm done all my adult responsibilities, so the rest of the weekend is dedicated to the Fiesta. I have a bunch of parts to put on, so let's just get to it. In the last two videos, I mentioned that I wasn't sure if I was going to modify this car or leave it stock. Now, in the past 2 weeks, I've done a lot of research, trying to figure out which direction I'm going, the parts I need, this and that, and I have decided that I'm gonna do both. So let me explain. At the moment of this recording, the Canadian and US border is still closed. Now, I live about an hour away from the border. Having parts shipped from the United States is insanely expensive. So what I typically do is have my parts shipped to the border. I drive down, pick it up. Usually, from a lot of companies, shipping within the US is free, so I save a lot of money. For example, I think what I'm gonna do for the airbox is get an S200 airbox. And shipping on the box alone is $80 US. But if I have it shipped to the border, I think it's $5. So I'm just gonna wait until it's safe to cross the border and order my parts then and go pick them up. In the meantime, I've been going through junkyards, ordering parts from recyclers, even ordering parts from my local Ford dealership. And I have pretty much everything I need to get this car rolling. If you watch my first video, I mentioned that the place I got the Fiesta from were going to provide a shift knob, and actually they provided the whole shifter mechanism, so that's great. I also from them got an air intake manifold, and I'll show you why. There's a few broken pieces on the one that's on the car. The airbox is from a standard Fiesta. Obviously it's different than the ST one, because the ST snorkel here goes into here, closer to the filter. This will do in the meantime, but I do plan on upgrading my intake to the ST200, like I mentioned previously, and that's going to happen at some point. Now the radiator support is from that same car. I got those from a pick apart junkyard. The radiator and condenser I got from an ST that was being converted to a race car, so I scored those. Obviously the radiator has seen better days, but I did order a Montoon one. Now Montoon on their website has a sale going on right now, and actually I'm not sure if it's still on, but it's free shipping within the US, so I put my order in. Now they're back ordered, so I'm waiting for that to come in stock, then they'll ship it to the border, and whenever I can go across, I'm gonna go get it. So that's just a temporary solution, didn't cost that much, and then yeah, I'll just swap it out once I get the Montoon one. The grill and the bumper are brand new from Ford. Last thing is a new radiator hose, and I'll show you that in a minute. That one's pretty much destroyed. So all of these are ready to go on. Obviously I'll wait for the bumper and the grill. That's less important. Looking at the front, everything below the crash bar is in good shape. The intercooler's in good shape. All the plastics are good. So I don't have to worry about anything there. Obviously the crash bar is very rusty. I'll have to, I'm gonna take care of that, either wire wheel and then paint it, or next time I'm in a junkyard, maybe look at replacing it completely. But there's no damage to it. There's no bends or anything. So it wasn't crashed, it wasn't hit. So that's a good sign. Next step is to remove the radiator condenser and the radiator support, and that'll give me access to look at everything else, make sure everything's good to go. Okay, so a bit of a roadblock yesterday. Decided to end the day early, but I wrongly assumed that due to the damage to the condenser that the AC system would have been completely discharged or evacuated after the accident, but I was wrong, and it's at full pressure, so I decided to not touch it for the rest of the day and come up with a game plan. Now, unfortunately, it's Sunday. I can't get a mobile mechanic to come over and evacuate it right now, but I'm hoping I can get one tomorrow or the day after. But in the meantime, I'm going to try to get the radiator out and leave the condenser in. If that's not possible, I'm just going to leave everything in and focus on other stuff in the meantime. But I was really hoping to get all this out and give me a little bit more space to tackle some other stuff. But it is what it is. Obviously, I'm not going to drive this weekend like I had planned, but my goal is still to get it running, driving this week. We'll see how that goes. So let's get to it. All right, so I managed to snake it out of there without removing the condenser. I don't know if I'll be able to remove the rad support, but here it is, and you can see it's pretty dented. The fan assembly is actually in decent shape. It might be salvageable. There's some broken plastic at the top here, but the tabs all look fine. Some more broken plastic here and here, but other than that, I think it might be fine. So the reason I wanted to take the radiator out is to give me better access to removing the intake manifold. As you can see, there's some broken pieces here, and this is broken as well. So I ended up getting a newer one this is from a 2015. Mine's a 2014, and it's looking very clean, and it has all the pieces I need. So I'm gonna start with that, and I also need to change this radiator hose, which I do have, but I'm debating if I should just wait. I'll at least remove it, but I should probably wait until the rad support, the newer rad support is in before I fish this line through. So anyways, start with the intake. So I have the intake manifold off. It was a bit of a pain. The last bolt was right behind the alternator, so in order to get access to it, I had to move the alternator. To do that, I figured I'd just remove the coolant overflow bottle and the motor mount to get better access. Now, I did notice that when I took the belt off, the belt actually looks kind of decent, just a little bit of rust, but there's no cracking or anything. I don't know if this is the original belt. It is a Ford belt. But I noticed that my idler pulley is very damaged. So I'm gonna replace that. And while I'm at it, I might as well just put a new belt on. So I'm gonna have to order these tomorrow. Hopefully I get it quick. But in the meantime, I have the throttle body on the new intake. It was just 4 bolts underneath. And as you can see, it was 6 bolts total to remove the intake manifold. So now I'm just gonna put this one back in. The intake manifold's back on. It's essentially just reverse order of how I took it apart. All the connections are back on. The only thing I'm struggling is this one here, because it broke inside this this little pipe, and it seems like it's molded on. Like, this is very hard rubber and it's molded on, so I don't know how I'm gonna get this off to connect it to this new connector here. I'm gonna look at how much a line, I'm almost assuming this comes with the adapter attached already to it. Anyways, I'm gonna look into that and try to figure out how to pry this out without damaging the tubing. Other than that, the alternator's back on. I used a 6mm to remove this this stud here. I'm pretty sure that's not the right thing to use. I'm sure there's a better tool for that, but that's all I had, and it did work for me. Once this is all back together, it's going to be reinstalling the rad and putting in some coolant, and then I think we'll be good to go. I managed to get the broken piece out of the tubing, but it stretched it quite a bit and it won't seal. Also, I hadn't noticed, but there's a little cut here that I didn't notice earlier. So anyways, I decided to cut the whole thing out and I replaced it with this rubber hose. It's a Continental fuel injection hose 3/8. It fits pretty snug. Hopefully this will work. I don't see why not, but obviously I don't know what I'm doing. So let me know in the comments if this is a bad thing to do. But overall, I think I'm going to give it a try.
The next day.
Okay, so got a lot of work done on the front end here. So as you saw, I had someone come over to evacuate the AC system. Shout out to Sylvain at Ideal Tire and Auto. He came same day to help me out. So huge shout out to them. If you're in the Eastern Ontario region, make sure you check them out. Other than that, I had to remove the intercooler in order to access some bolts for the rad support. So that came out, the condenser came out, and that's where I am right now. So you can see what the rad support looks like. Pretty damaged. This is the new one, well, used one, but big difference. And I'm really surprised that this thing held pressure with the amount of damage done to it. But yeah, anyway, so now this gives me a lot of access to reconnect the intercooler lines, and I still have to put the new idler pulley on and the belt. So I'm going to take care of that. Once that's done, I'm going to look at putting the rad condenser back in, and we'll go from there. Okay, progress update. Idler pulley is on. I had a hard time getting the belt on just because I don't have an offset socket to help me with the tensioner, but I did manage to get this sucker back on. All the coolant lines are back on. One little gotcha, the coolant line the replacement coolant line for this guy here, which was torn off, went straight to the bottle. It wasn't cut where this T is for the, I guess that's the turbo line. So what I had to do was cut the line, and I had a hard time getting this onto the adapter. I had to heat it up. I put a little WD-40 on the adapter and jammed it in there. So managed to do that. Now I got to remember I have a fitting there. Other than that, condenser is in, the radiator is in, and I reused the fan. One thing I didn't show was that a lot of the cracks I filled in with JB Weld plastic bonder, and it holds up really well. So I'm happy I was able to reuse that. That's going to save some money. Other than that, can someone tell me what this line is? I'm assuming it goes to this connector here, which I have no idea what this does. If you have an idea, let me know in the comments. The airbox is back on. The lower part of the airbox was pretty damaged, and so I'm using one from I believe a 2013 Fiesta. 3 of the holes line up. The back one doesn't, which is very interesting. But anyways, this is just temporary. I plan on getting probably an ST200 box once the US border opens up. Other than that, I think everything is good. The only thing I'm missing is clamps for the radiator hose. The one at the bottom was very was rusted. It basically snapped when I tried to take it off. So I took the upper one and put it on the bottom. That way when I buy a new one, it'll be easier to just replace this one. I think this is really the only thing that's holding me up. It's too late to go buy one, but other than that, an oil change and some fresh coolant, and I think I'm ready to fire this up. Obviously, I'm going to triple check everything before I do, but at this point, I think everything's good. Look forward to starting it. So that'll be first thing tomorrow. This is not what I was hoping to see. Started filling up the reservoir, and I've got multiple leaks. The lower radiator hose is dry. Nothing's coming out of there, so obviously I got a bad rad. I guess I'll have to take it out and see what's going on, but that ruins my plans for the week. So it looks like I was sold a bad radiator. I can't quite see where it's coming from. I'll have to take it apart and try to pinpoint where the leak is coming from, but it's definitely not coming from the hose connections. So yeah, I don't know. And I don't even know if radiators are fixable these days, but this sucks. So this officially ends my goal of trying to drive it this week. I was really, really hoping that it would happen, but at this point, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this apart and try to pinpoint where the leak is and then come up with a game plan. Obviously, I have one on order from Montoon, but they're back ordered. I have no idea when it's gonna ship, and I also have no idea when I can get across the border to pick it up. So I'm gonna see if I can find a Canadian supplier that might have one in stock. The other option is just to, buy a Mishimoto or even a Ford OEM one. So, which are essentially the same price. I'm not too sure what I'm gonna do at this point. So I took the condenser off, and I don't know how I didn't notice before. Like, I noticed the fins, but I didn't notice that the sort of like pipes on the side were busted. So you can see there, it's also leaking from the top. So that one's pretty damaged. There's another leak on this side here. Yeah, so this sucks. Okay, so I spoke with Montoon. Unfortunately, they don't have any ETA on when they're going to be, their rads are going to be back in stock. Also spoke with Ford. Unfortunately, no dealer in Canada has an OEM rad for the ST, which is odd. So it would have to get shipped from the States. That's 7 to 10 days. I tried some performance shops. I've tried recyclers. Nobody has a rad for this thing. So at this point, I'm not too sure what I'm gonna do. I'm leaning towards canceling my Montoon and just ordering one from Ford because it's 7 to 10 days. I have no idea when I'm gonna get one from Montoon, so I might as well just cancel and then pick one up down the road. But I'm gonna sleep on it and I'll let you guys know. So I'm gonna end this video here, but before I do, there's no reason why I can't do a proper startup of this motor now. All the parts are on. I reinstalled the intercooler, fresh oil in there, so I think it's time to give it a shot. Leaks. Whew, what a relief. I was not ready to get some more bad news if there were starting issues with this thing, but the motor sounds great and the car sounds amazing. I'm really happy to hear this run finally. If it wasn't for the radiator, I'd probably be out on the street taking a drive right now, but it is what it is. This is probably a long video, so I appreciate everybody that stuck around. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. There'll be updates about what's happening with this car long before they hit YouTube. Also, I do want to say that I did hit the 100 subscriber mark and I did get my custom URL from YouTube, so thank you so much to everybody who subscribed. If you're new, please consider subscribing, but make sure to smash that like button for me and leave a comment. Let me know what you think and what I should do. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.